Yeah, I see that we are almost about to break for lunch, and I do have one short general comment, and that is about the use of the Cox proportional hazards model for the statistical analysis. This has become ubiquitous. Most epidemiologists or all epidemiologists use this model, but I believe that when looking at long-term epidemiological studies, the kind of studies that we are looking at in air pollution studies, the basic assumptions of the model often do not hold. They certainly do not hold for potentially strong confounders such as cigarette smoking, and possibly for other confounders like potential confounders like BMI. So I think we need to look for other methods for analysis of data. I mean, I don't care whether it's random effects, Cox modeling, or what it is. The basic assumptions of the Cox model do not hold.
Suresh, I agree with that, and I just wanted to point out that I alluded to earlier that we've looked at 4 separate sub-periods within the veteran study, about 8 years each. You can't slice it much thinner than that. And to support what you're saying is that if we calculate the number of air pollution deaths in each period and sum them, we get numbers that are different than what you get when you run all 26 years at once, which supports exactly what you're saying. Now, we also find, and now I'm telling tales out of school, that there are substantial differences by age, and that the biggest long-term impacts are in middle ages.
Well, that's what Arden also pointed out, the difference in old age, that the risks go down.
And there are also differences by race. Caucasians are sensitive to different pollutants than African Americans, and we are finding that I have one other point which just left me. I'll let it go. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Enstrom's findings also support that point of view, because he finds different relative risks in the different periods. But I'm not talking just about the pollution effect. I'm talking also about how you control strong confounders. You know, just because you put in 25 terms for a confounder doesn't mean that you controlled it adequately.
That's right, and our original model in the veteran study had 206 variables in it because we had interactions. We had age interactions with body mass, blood pressure, and a few other things. And those terms were significant. So we think we've addressed that concern. I also have to say that because we were running so many analyses, we ran some shortcuts and took the interactions out, and it didn't make a whole lot of difference. But the time factors do, and the reason they do, in my opinion, is because all of these variables were measured at entry to the study, and 20 years later, they are different. The amazing thing that we find, if we use AIC as a measure of model fit, it improves over time. So that when we get down to the survivors in 1997, those guys fit the model much better than the earlier ones did. But then they're survivors, so perhaps there's less variation in their personal characteristics. But we have considered that, and I wish others had as well.
Okay, Jim?